Denver. This is Fox 31 News at 9. We're on it.
Right now at 9. A bolt of lightning strikes right in the middle of a Colorado neighborhood, and we're not done with weather like this. The Pinpoint weather team tracking rain and even some snow chances. Plus, monkeypox is in Colorado, but is the state doing enough to protect hospital workers from catching it? Why one worker's contacting the problem solvers concerned about a potential exposure.
I like the slides.
We just try to be as cautious as we can.
Also at 9, summer fun is in full swing just as COVID-19 cases start to rise again. How you can make sure you don't get sick just by visiting a water park.
It's important for me and for my kids to remember the purpose of the holiday.
Plus, serving those who serve, from Washington to Commerce City, how Coloradans are honoring the fallen soldiers who never made it home. We do have a lot to get to tonight, and we start right now at 9 with our eye on the weather.
Another storm system taking aim right at Colorado. Just check out, we froze Futurecast just for you for tomorrow night, and you can see the rain covering the state and even some snow out there, too.
Yeah, look at that. So what can you expect at your place? Pinpoint weather meteorologist Jessica Bell here with a look at that forecast. Jess?
Yeah, you guys, it's going to be a wet 2 days ahead of us, but we are always happy to see the moisture on Doppler radar tonight. I'm tracking some scattered snow showers still hanging on in the high country from Telluride all the way towards the Aspen area, and you can see some of this stretching up into western Larimer and Boulder counties and just north of Granby. Now, we will dry out from these showers tonight. In fact, we are dry here in Denver on our Bacchus and Schenker Skycam. Those temperatures nice and cool. We're sitting at 56 degrees. That wind out of the northwest at 20 miles per hour. Wind will be dying down in the overnight hours. Temperatures right now sitting at 56 in Denver, 54 up in Fort Collins, 53 in Castle Rock. You can see just some spotty gusts out there. Other than that, the wind starting to relax. But as we look ahead to tomorrow, temperatures will hit the mid-60s once again. We're going to see the cloud cover build in through the day. Tomorrow morning will be dry. That's the time to get outside. And then we see those rain showers popping up in the afternoon, snow in the high country, and check out how much rain we are going to see after midnight tomorrow night. I'll have more on just how much rain you can expect where you live, and when we'll be back into the 80s ahead in Pinpoint weather.
All right, Jessica, thank you. Now would be a great time to download the free Pinpoint weather app. You can track the storms on our live updating radar. Just pause the stream and use a phone to scan the QR code to get a direct link to download.
New developments only here on Fox 31. An anonymous healthcare worker reaching out to the problem solvers concerned hospitals are not doing enough to screen patients for monkeypox.
We told you last week the latest case involves a man who health officials tell us visited a hospital just days before his positive diagnosis. Fox 31's Joshua Short is on it tonight with what state health officials are saying about these new developments. Joshua.
First things first, guys, good evening to you. Also, for those wondering, monkeypox, the risk of you contracting it is low. It is rarely fatal as well. But that anonymous healthcare worker spoke with us today. She's worried hospitals are not doing enough to protect them, the healthcare workers.
Tonight, we're learning new information surrounding one of the 2 confirmed monkeypox cases in Colorado. Officials with Centura Health telling Fox 31 the male patient did visit St. Anthony Hospital, but it's not clear if it was related to treatment for monkeypox. But not long after that visit, he did test positive. An anonymous healthcare worker with knowledge of this specific case telling the problem solvers tonight numerous hospital employees may have been exposed to this patient. The tipster is upset, saying if more was done to screen incoming patients before their appointments, this exposure may not have happened. During COVID-19 and even during the Ebola outbreak, some hospitals required patients to fill out forms to screen for symptoms. The state health department telling the problem solvers today they do not require patients to fill out these forms before being seen by a doctor. However, individual providers, medical clinics, and hospitals may have forms they ask patients to complete.
Now, officials with Centura Health did not directly answer my question on if St. Anthony Hospital has these forms or not, but they did give us a statement reading in part at this time all caregivers and providers with possible exposure have been contacted, educated on the symptoms to monitor, and offered as well the vaccine to them, which is only available through the state. They did provide us that information today. Coming up at 10 o'clock, we go into detail for you on who should get this vaccine. We're going to tell you everything you need to know. That is a story we're actively working on for our 10 o'clock hour. I'm Joshua Short, Fox 31.
See you then, Joshua. Thank you. Turning to coronavirus tonight, COVID-19 cases in Colorado continuing to rise. The state now averaging more than 1,700 new cases every day, and that's the highest level since February 14th. There are now about 163 people with COVID in Colorado hospitals as of this week. That number has been steadily rising since the end of March. Cases rising just as many of you are starting to check off items on those summer plans.
And for many of you, that means big crowds like at the pool or the water park. So how can you stay COVID-free? Tonight, Fox 31 problem solver Shaw Turner looking into the safety measures you should be thinking about taking. Shaw.
Yeah, Elitch Gardens was popping today and Water World opening for the season. And if you look at this, it's kind of like going to a Red Rocks concert or somewhere else, a ball game. The difference is the water. The water is safe, according to doctors, but you still have to follow some safety guidelines.
The sun is out and the water's inviting.
Something different than the normal barbecue.
I like the slides.
As COVID cases in Colorado rise, parents have questions.
We just try to be as cautious as we can.
So the problem solvers checked it out. Dr. Jaya Kumar, Chief Medical Officer of Swedish Medical Center, tells Fox 31, the water on the slides and in the pools is safe because
COVID-19 does not spread through water in the swimming pools or splash pads or hot tubs, and because the proper maintenance of these areas with chlorine or bromine inactivates the virus.
Safety is our first priority with the rides and the water park, as well as with the pandemic. All of the right chemicals are used to treat the water.
Medical experts say it is important to practice social distancing.
It is important to maintain social distancing since it's spread through respiratory droplets.
That's why doctors recommend attending outdoor water parks with lots of space to spread out.
And if you want to get an idea of a safe distance from someone else, it's just the length, according to doctors, of one of those pool noodles. That's an easy way for kids to figure that out. As well, you want to make sure you're vaccinated, have your booster shot, and kind of go to the parks and other events, concerts and things like that when it's just not as crowded. Another thing, if you're sick, stay home. Come back when you feel better. Shaw Turner reporting live at Elitch Gardens, Fox 31.
Yeah, crucial reminder there, Shaw. Thank you. All new tonight at 9, Greeley police need help finding this vehicle, which they say is related to a shooting. Investigators say they were chasing a suspected car thief they identified as 33-year-old Cole Graves when Graves shot a man and stole his car. Officers continued the chase but called it off when Graves broke through a railroad crossing arm and was nearly hit by a train. If you see him or this vehicle, do not approach, and instead, please contact 911. All new tonight at 9, we're hearing about the chilling moment just before the gunman went into an elementary school last week.
Yeah, one man who was right across the street is now talking about what he saw. Fox 31's Matt Morrow here now with that and the latest on the investigation. Matt.
Well, Jeremy, Erica, tonight, nearly a week after that massacre, investigators still say they have no idea why an 18-year-old went into Robb Elementary School right here and is the gunman behind the second worst school shooting in the nation's history. Meanwhile, take a look here. The memorial in the small town of Uvalde continues to grow today. This was supposed to be the first full week of a joyous summer vacation for kids and teachers. Instead, as of today, it is the beginning of visitations, funerals, and burials that'll last for about the next 2.5 weeks. New tonight, we're hearing from a man who was working as a carpenter across the street from Robb Elementary when the horrific shooting began. Listen.
The police fired at the gunman, and after that, the gunman fired at them. And the police were defending themselves. They're trying to avoid the bullets because he had a real heavy-duty artillery.
That, of course, was one of the 2 AR-15 style assault rifles that the suspect had. New tonight, the Washington Post has been tracking school shootings since Columbine right here in Colorado. These involve all types of guns with people, shooters with different motives. The bottom line, though, the Post says the shootings have directly affected 311,000 students at 331 schools, where at least 185 people have been shot and killed. Jeremy.
All right, Matt, thank you. Meanwhile, 2 comfort dogs from Fort Collins making the trip down to Texas after the elementary school shooting.
The traveling group of golden retrievers visit areas that recently experienced tragedy. That includes Boulder after the King Super shooting. Fox 31's Carly Moore caught up with one of the organizers who just returned from Texas today.
Traveling to tragedy.
Well, locally, the King Super shooting last March. And Arvada. We've been to Orlando, Florida, after the Pulse nightclub. We've been to Parkland, Florida, the school shooting there, Santa Fe.
There's something about a dog.
It's very powerful. It really is.
That just makes us feel better.
We bring that calming presence where they can just reach down and talk to the dog, hug the dog, and no one's going to judge them and no one's going to respond with words. because we found they just don't process words or questions, but they do like a hug from a dog or just to melt into their fur.
Thoughts and prayers from a distance can only do so much, which is why Lutheran Church Charities canine comfort dogs like Cubby and Devora here show up in person with bright eyes and wagging tails.
When we see that and we see that change of body expression or facial expression, we know that our dogs have done their job.
The car rides are long, but that reward of bringing light in the darkness is better than any treat. The pups will return home.
We put their vest away. They get to be a dog. They get to lay around the house, chew on their bone, go play outside.
Helping their own communities until a new place needs a little positivity.
Reality is it's going to happen again. We hope and pray it doesn't. But when it does, and that's just to bring that a smile, that hope, and just in that awful moment that they can forget about what happened and that we love them and we care about them.
Carly Moore, Fox 31.
Yeah, what a thing they are doing. Our thanks to Carly there. Lightning striking in the middle of a Colorado neighborhood. The whole thing caught on camera. Watch right here. We are getting a look at that damage coming up.
Plus, the state's largest Memorial Day parade is back for the first time in 2 years. We're going to take it to the fun when we come back.
Serving those who serve on this Memorial Day, President Biden and Vice President Harris spending the day honoring America's fallen heroes at Arlington National Cemetery. The president laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier, as well as planting a magnolia tree on the south lawn of the White House. President Biden also reminiscing about his son, Bo, who served in Iraq and died from cancer after returning home.
For those who have lost a loved one in the service of our country, if your loved one is missing or unaccounted for, I know the ceremonies reopen that black hole in the center of your chest that just pulls you in, suffocates you.
Today is the 145th nationally recognized Memorial Day.
And here in Colorado, many went to Fort Logan National Cemetery to respect those who served and never returned home. It's the first time since the pandemic that the cemetery has hosted an event like this. Community members took part in a moment of silence. Witnesses were wreath laying and a flyover from F-16s. Brigadier General Scott Sherman of the state's National Guard served as the keynote speaker. He says this year's ceremony was one to remember.
You know, it's the first time they've been able to do a ceremony since 2019. I think it meant more to these people that we were able to come out here, be in person, to actually, you know, to see each other, to be a community, to talk, and for them to visit the grave sites here.
Sherman says he wants people to go out in the community and talk to veterans about their service.
And that isn't the only Memorial Day tradition back after a COVID hiatus.
The largest Memorial Day parade in the state back in Commerce City this morning as hundreds came out to show their support for those who serve. Fox 31's Greg Nieto was there as well. It's all new tonight, isn't it?
It's billed as the largest Memorial Day parade in Colorado, with plenty of pomp.
Whoa!
And priority. For Scout leader Aaron Treat.
Part of the Scout oath is to do your duty to your country.
And his 3 kids.
Ethan just is a Weeblo, and Felicity just crossed over to be a wolf.
Honored to present this year's Grand Marshal.
Treat says his youngsters have read plenty of American history. Now's the time to witness some of it.
And it's important for me and for my kids to remember the purpose of the holiday, which is to remember the servicemen and women who died fighting in our wars.
Kylie Barnes and her sister are also here.
This is the first time we've ever sold lemonade here.
To help families cool off and help others get back on their feet.
We are supporting 25% of our proceeds to the VA hospital.
Just a couple of the Americans here.
Thank you. Have a great Memorial Day.
Helping to honor and remember.
Help us remember that it's not about us and it's about the community in our country.
In Commerce City, Greg Nieto, Fox 31.
Now, Pinpoint weather Colorado's most accurate forecast.
Well, it wouldn't be Memorial Day weekend in Colorado without mountain snowfall and storms, and we certainly saw all of that this weekend. I was driving over Vail Pass today around 10 a.m. This is what it looked like. Several inches of snow. The roads were mostly just wet out there, but certainly a crazy sight to see. We still have a little bit of snow up in the high country. Of course, today in Denver, though, we didn't pick up any rain. We did see some rain showers out on the eastern plains, but we are behind for the month and the year. We could use more moisture. We're going to get that the next 2 days. For the month, we're about 0.2 of an inch behind. We're just under 2 inches there. And in terms of our yearly precipitation, so far this year, we've seen just under 5 inches of liquid precipitation. That includes the snow if we melt it down into liquid form. The normal is about 5.5 inches, so we're about 1/2 inch behind. But by Wednesday, we're expecting to make up a lot of that. We do have scattered rain chances Tuesday into Wednesday, and then even more chances, although they're small, Friday into the weekend. So nice to see this stormy pattern moving back in. And on Doppler radar tonight, I'm tracking just some very isolated snow showers left over. These are going to dry out within the next hour here. I'm tracking one up towards Estes Park and then one pushing just off to the east of Basalt. Right now on our Bacchus and Shanker Skycam, we're dry here in Denver. It's been a cool day. Temperatures hit the upper 60s. We're at 56. Wind out of the northwest at 20 miles per hour. We still have some 60s off to our south and east. A nice evening down towards Pueblo, out towards Lamar. 32 already in Dillon, a chilly night there. 35 up in Steamboat Springs. Now, we did have a lot of wind out there today. Gusts up to 30, 35 miles per hour on the Front Range. Still gusting to 29 miles per hour out at DIA. We do have some gusts out towards Lyman. Other than that, the state quieting down, and we will see those winds relax here in Denver within the next few hours. Tonight's lows falling to about 40 in Denver. I'm pinpointing 46 in La Junta, 39 in Greeley. We will see about 27 in Aspen. And in your out the door forecast tomorrow, grab the umbrella, especially if you're heading outside in the afternoon and evening. It's going to be really wet out there. We will see temperatures cool to about 56 degrees by 6 p.m. High temperatures making it into those mid 60s tomorrow. Another cool day. 64 the high in Fort Collins towards the Loveland area, 69 in Salida tomorrow, and Eagle climbing to 66. On our futurecast, the timing of these incoming showers tomorrow, we will see clear skies as we kick off our Tuesday, but as we head towards the afternoon, you can see the cloud cover rolling in. Here come the storms. They start first in our Front Range mountains. We will see a lot of snow up there, rain for the lower elevations with this system. We potentially could see a little bit of snow mixing in early Wednesday morning across Monument Hill. That's something we're going to be watching for, but the rest of us going to be seeing rain down here on the Front Range and Eastern Plains. Snow staying up in the mountains, the majority of that off to the east there of the Continental Divide. By Wednesday morning, still a lot of moisture to go, and then by Wednesday afternoon, it starts to pull off towards the east. By Wednesday night, we will be clearing skies and drying out. So in terms of how much rain we're going to see, this is going to be an impressive system for us. We are expecting anywhere from 1/2 inch up to 1 inch of rainfall on the Front Range. We will see about 3 to 9 inches of snowfall above 9,000 feet in our Front Range mountains. Really great precipitation. We dry out Wednesday evening. We will see dry weather continue into Thursday. High temperatures right back to the 70s and then 80s moving right back into the forecast. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we are going to see a 10% chance of an isolated storm each afternoon.
Still to come on Fox 31 News at 9. Caught on camera, a bolt of lightning hits a tree right in the middle of a Colorado neighborhood. We're getting a look at the damage.
We got 10 so far.
Do you think we should get more?
The baby formula shortage driving some moms to leave the country in search of food for their child. How many are now crossing the border and the potential danger involved? Coming up. Plus, summer fun is in full swing, but nearly a third of public pools in the country are closed right now. How the labor shortage is impacting your summer plans when the News at 9 comes back.
A Problem Solvers consumer alert now. The FDA is investigating a link between strawberries and a hepatitis A outbreak. The organic strawberries were sold at more than 9 stores. That includes Kroger, Safeway, Walmart, and Trader Joe's. They were all sold under the brand names Fresh Campo and HEB. The FDA has linked 17 hepatitis A cases to the strawberries. 12 people have been hospitalized. Most infections were reported in California. Now, the strawberries were sold between March 5th and April 25th, and anyone who still has them in their freezer should throw them out.
Happening tomorrow, jurors in the Johnny Depp defamation trial will resume deliberations. For the last 6 weeks, testimony in the trial has focused on details of alleged abuse suffered by ex-wife Amber Heard. However, the jury's job is not to determine who was abused, but whether Heard defamed Depp when she wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post saying that she had been the victim of domestic abuse. Depp says she did defame him, even though he was never mentioned by name in that article. Heard also countersuing Depp for defamation in that case. We'll let you know what happens. Court proceedings set to begin this week in a civil lawsuit against Bill Cosby for alleged sexual abuse. The lawsuit against the 84-year-old Cosby was brought by Judy Huth. She claims Cosby molested her as a teen back in 1974 at the Playboy Mansion. Huth's case is one of the last remaining civil lawsuits against Cosby after he settled multi-million-dollar cases with at least 8 women. Cosby was freed from prison last year after his sex assault conviction in Pennsylvania was overturned. He has said he will not attend these upcoming proceedings.
All new tonight, the season's first hurricane made landfall in Mexico today near a stretch of tourist beaches and fishing towns on Mexico's southern Pacific coast. Hurricane Agatha formed yesterday and quickly gained power. It's now the strongest hurricane on record to make landfall in Mexico for the month of May. Earlier today, Agatha had a maximum sustained winds of 110 miles per hour. However, it did start to weaken as it traveled further inland. For the first time in 3 years today, runners took over the streets of Boulder. Despite turnout being 15,000 less than previous years, people were excited to get back on this Memorial Day tradition. 35,000 of them returning to take part in the Boulder this morning. The weather cooperating for that 7 a.m. start.
Doing well, doing well. It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day.
This is my son Xerxes, and we're gonna make it. We're gonna do this, and it's gonna be a great day.
That's a good teammate right there. You don't have to be an avid runner to take part either. There were people from multiple ways, runners that can compete a 10K within 70 minutes and those who wanted to walk.
Hopefully Xerxes had a good day out there. Yeah. Caught on camera, lightning hitting a home right in the middle of a Colorado neighborhood. Watch it happen right here. Yeah, we're going to look at that close call a little closer up next.
Plus, they're going to great lengths just to feed their own kids. How many moms are now leaving the country just to buy formula? When we come back.
Live from Denver, this is Fox 31 News at 9:30. We're on it.
Right now, 9:30, moms desperate for baby formula, not waiting for it to come back to store shelves. How many are now crossing the border to find the food, and why doctors say it can be dangerous?
Plus, this is pretty surprising here. Nearly a third of the nation's pools are closed on this Memorial Day. The labor shortage is impacting summer plans coming up.
And first, all new here at 9:30, incredible new video tonight from Arvada as a home is struck by lightning in yesterday's thunderstorm.
And thankfully, nobody was hurt, but it did leave behind some damage. Fox 31's Courtney Fromm speaking with that homeowner who didn't even know what happened until she saw some of that home security footage.
And it's incredible. You just take a look at it. You can kind of see that lightning strike go across. Hold on, it's going right across as it trickles atop of this house. The neighbor's video camera actually catching this whole thing, and the homeowner tonight thankful for that video. She says it's going to help her in the long run trying to explain this to her insurance company.
I'm sitting on the couch watching TV, and I kind of just saw this light come across me.
Amanda Strawn and her mom fleeing their home in Arvada on Sunday, fearing for the worst.
It sounded like a bomb. My hearing went. I couldn't hear anything.
As a lightning strike shook and sent sparks across the top of her home.
The lightning hit the tree, came down, hit the gutter, and went all the way down the gutter, and then started a little mini fire right here.
Not knowing what caused the loud explosion at first.
We ran out because we thought it was going to be the tree coming down on top of our house. That's what it sounded like.
Strawn was met by her neighbors outside.
There were sparks flying off the house across the street. So we stepped outside, and the neighbors were coming out of their house, kind of holding their ears and wondering what in the world happened.
Our neighbors said they had it on their security footage, and so we got to watch the whole thing.
With the bolt went several electronics.
One TV that will not come on at all. The Xfinity box is completely fried. I have an outlet that's not working.
Along with her garage door.
Not working. It's broken.
And the thermostat.
And I have no power to it whatsoever. And so my fan is just running 24/7.
Thankful everyone in her home is safe. The tree taking most of the hit.
So right here, You can see where the tree is completely just blown out.
She'll be sad to see it go.
I love this tree. Once it strikes a tree, right, it dies from the inside and it comes down.
But really hopes the myth that lightning doesn't strike the same place twice is true.
I don't know how anyone survives something like that.
Now, she is working with her insurance company, trying to get an electrician to come and check everything out. She expects there will be more damage, but with the holiday weekend, she has to wait until tomorrow. But this video, absolutely incredible. Courtney from Fox 31.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. Courtney, thank you. Some new details tonight as we have new pictures from a rescue at Rocky Mountain National Park yesterday following a deadly avalanche. You can see what crews had to go through just to reach those individuals who were in trouble. These were taken by the teams that made it out there to Mount Meeker. That's just shy of 14,000 feet. Rocky Mountain National Park says a rockfall and an avalanche killed one man out there. 2 others were airlifted to safety. That area where they were climbing is called Dreamweaver Route. It's near the Longs Peak area.
Dreamweaver Couloir is a technical mountaineering route in Rocky Mountain National Park. And what makes it unique is that it is very similar to climbing a route in, say, Alaska or the Alps, where you have to deal with technical rock climbing.
Recovery efforts were dampened today by the weather. The body of the person who was trapped has not yet been removed.
Now to a developing story. The cause of a deadly crash now under investigation. Happened on 225 near I-70 this morning. We know a woman is dead. Others were taken to the hospital too. Police tell us at least 2 vehicles were involved. Interstate 225 was closed for hours this morning, but it did reopen just before 9 a.m. Denver police also investigating a deadly crash. 2 drivers crashing at East 46th Avenue and North Brighton Boulevard overnight. Police haven't said yet what caused this crash or who are the victims here. More baby formula on its way to the United States, but many moms are not waiting. How some are now leaving the country themselves to find the formula they need.
Plus, the Western Conference finals start tomorrow, but travel plans will be different for the Avs this time around. How Canadian COVID rules are impacting the matchup when we come back.
Help solve crimes, close cases, and get up to $2,000. If you have a tip, call our partners, Metro Denver Crime Stoppers, at 720-913-STOP. Community crime fighting, we're on it.
It's 2 for $12 Tuesdays at A&W, where you'll get 2 original bacon cheeseburgers, 2 fries, and 2 Frosty mugs of root beer for just $12. Incredible! The 2 for $12 Tuesdays offer is so good, it practically screams value!
Some people like to talk in the microphones. We prefer dropping them. The MDX, a new era of premium performance.
Visit your Rocky Mountain Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Together, we have more strength than any one of us might imagine. And with that strength comes responsibility. To flex our muscles to help. To rescue those in crisis. To lift up those in need. To invest in the healers and the helpers. Because with strength comes responsibility. For our patients, for our communities, for each other. You can count on us to show up.
Go deep with BetMGM, the best place to bet on every MLB game all season long. Live betting from the first pitch to the final out. Money lines, run lines, totals. However you like to play, BetMGM brings the heat. Boost your payoffs with Parlay Boost and cash in on every punch out and big fly. The best place to bet baseball is BetMGM. Now you're betting with the king of sports books. Sign up today and your first bet is risk-free up to $1,000 with bonus code HOMERUN.
Some things just need an update. The COVID vaccine is the same. Your immunity gets better with every dose. Staying up to date with your vaccines can keep you from being hospitalized and might save your life.
What makes News Nation different than the other network out there? Well, they're giving it to you down the middle.
They're focused on the facts and not opinions.
It's just straight to the point, fact-based news.
Is you're able to see yourself in the network.
I think News Nation is the most honest news station out there.
They give you a chance to decide on your own.
It's neither left or right, and it's news for everyone.
News Nation gives you straight, unbiased news. And if more people would watch News Nation, we'd have a lot less division in this country.
KFC's Wednesday Country Fried Steak Meal is a delicious value, complete with mashed potatoes with gravy, coleslaw, and a biscuit, all for the incredible price of just $5.99. Really, what's left to say? How about see you again next Wednesday? Country Fried Steak Meal, just $5.99, only at KFC.
Taking a look at what's trending tonight, a Twitter user says a man disguised as an old lady jumped out of a wheelchair and tried to smash the bulletproof glass on the Mona Lisa before smearing cake on it. It was apparently part of an environmental protest yesterday. He was caught on video telling the crowd they should be thinking about how people are trying to destroy the planet. The man, by the way, did not break the protective glass. The painting is still intact. It's not clear exactly why they targeted this piece of art.
And you may want to keep your eyes in the sky tonight. A meteor storm of 1,000 shooting stars per hour could light up the skies over North America tonight. There could be thousands of meteors an hour. Experts say the chance, though, is small. NASA says that the peak may be around 11 p.m. our time tonight. I just checked in with Jessica. She says we should have some clear skies as long as you're far away enough from the city. So here's good luck to you if you're looking for that. Some new information today. Colorado has bet nearly $7 billion on sports since the activity was legalized. Coloradans have bet a total of $394 million through April of this year. Basketball has been the most popular sport to bet on so far. Baseball comes in second. There's already a favor for the NBA championship despite the final team being decided last night. The Boston Celtics will face off against the Golden State Warriors in Game 1 on Thursday, and the Warriors are already the favorite for Caesars Sportsbook. The team opened as a 3.5-point favorites in the Game 1 in San Francisco, and not surprisingly, MGM has Steph Curry and Jason Tatum as the favorites to be the most valuable players.
But we are laser focused on hockey here in Denver right now. The Colorado Avalanche set to face off against the Edmonton Oilers for the Western Conference Finals tomorrow, Game 1, happening at Ball Arena. But if you're looking to go to any of the games in Canada, there are some things you should know first. First, you're going to have to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19, meaning it's been at least 2 weeks after your second dose. You'll have to upload your CDC vaccination card onto the Arrive Can app or website 72 hours before you arrive there. You also can't have any COVID symptoms, and you may also get tested once you get to Canada. Players have to follow similar regulations too, so fingers crossed that everybody stays healthy and safe.
Yeah, they have to. Please do. And I know it's been 20 years since they've reached this level in the playoffs. I mean, will as fans travel to Edmonton?
I'm guessing some might, for sure.
I think we have enough diehards, right?
Definitely.
And it's going to be worth it to get through all those hoops to see the Avs play in the playoffs. We're crossing our fingers, you guys. And of course, we've been crossing our fingers for moisture. We're going to see some of that Tuesday into Wednesday. Some spots could see up to an inch of rainfall. I'll have the timing and Colorado's most accurate forecast.
New details and new video tonight from Conejos County as a wildfire continues to burn there. The Monkeypox fire has burned 197 acres, prompting evacuations for everyone living north of Highway 18 between Horka and Fox Creek, while everyone living south of the highway in that area is on a pre-evacuation notice. Fire crews say aerial help has made significant progress as of Sunday, and they were able to keep the fire from spreading further. Officials adding smoke will be visible for at least several days, prompting warnings from state health leaders for those with health conditions in the area. And this new video showing the black fire burning in New Mexico as well. This video coming from Gila National Forest. It's now 26% contained, up from 19% yesterday. More than 300 square miles has already burned in that area. Investigators say they believe it's human caused, but they haven't said how it started just yet.
Right now, police in Tennessee are working to figure out what led to a shooting that left 6 people injured. Officials say it happened Saturday night in downtown Chattanooga. They believe the shooting started between a large group of teens and young adults who were walking around the area. Several of the victims were hospitalized, and at least 2 of the injuries are life-threatening. At least 1 person of interest was detained. No charges have been announced. A man is in jail in South Carolina accused of firing shots at passing cars from his front yard, injuring an 8-year-old. Florence County officials say the man hid in his home, and SWAT officers had to go in and arrest him, adding that it took about 15 minutes for officials to get to that scene.
Was actually shooting randomly at cars as they went by. 3 vehicles were struck. One that very critical, 8-year-old that's going into surgery now.
Police say they don't know the motive yet, but believe that he could have been on drugs, adding that he does have a history with law enforcement.
A French company is vowing to send 500,000 cans of specialized medical formula to the United States in the coming weeks to help with the shortage here.
But many parents are not waiting, some even leaving the country themselves to get their hands on the food their babies need. Fox 31's Marky Martin brings us the very latest, all new tonight at 9:30.
How many we got?
Okay, we got 10 so far.
You think we should get more?
Dallas mom Chrissy Murray was on her way home from a girls' trip to Cabo last week when she stopped by a supermarket to check the infant aisles. Inside, rows and rows of baby formula she's not finding back in the States. Her best friend Amy helping fill the brand new suitcase she also bought just to get it all home.
Do we do more?
I mean, yeah.
This is the can that I got in Mexico, and I got 12 of these.
She made out with what she believes is the exact brand of formula she uses for her 8-month-old. South of the border, in cities like Cabo and Tijuana, formula is plentiful, but doctors say formula manufactured in other countries does not necessarily meet the same standards as in the U.S.
As much as possible, try to stay local with all of this because we're not sure, you're not going to be sure what you're getting. So I would be really cautious.
Dr. Maya Bunick is the medical director of Children's Hospital Colorado. She warns against foreign travel for formula unless you're getting your hands on brands that you use and recognize.
You want to avoid, there's a toddler formula called Nido, N-I-D-O, that is really not safe for infants. We want to have families avoid making their own formula recipes and providing either more juice or cow's milk from the carton.
But with between 2 and 5% of babies having cow's milk allergy, French food giant Danone announced it will be sending the equivalent of about 5 million bottles of specialized formula for babies allergic to animal proteins. Its Nutricia formula will be coming from Liverpool, England, and a spokeswoman for the company said shipments should land by the end of June. Parents like Chrissy hoping shipments like these help alleviate the burden and fear.
Parents, not just mothers, but parents are feeling this pressure of they don't know where their next source of food is going to come from for their baby.
And that was Marky Martin reporting. Now to the latest on the Russian invasion. As fighting continues in eastern parts of Ukraine, Russian forces gaining ground in the Donbas region as they reportedly take control of some towns in that area. The fighting is evolving into old school artillery war. So far, Russian troops have had better weapons, but U.S. equipment is arriving on the battlefield. Ukraine's president says the dynamic is now changing.
Every day we are approaching to the point where our army will outnumber the occupiers' technology and striking force. Of course, a lot depends on our partners.
It comes as President Zelensky made his first trip out of the nation's capital city this weekend, visiting the second largest city, which has been under regular shelling attacks. Zelensky awarding medals for valor to some of the soldiers on the front line in Kharkiv while discussing rebuilding options as well. The United Nations warning the war is preventing them from feeding the hungry in other parts of the world. Families in many African countries are seeing the price of wheat flour double. That's because 44% of the continent's wheat flour comes from both Russia and Ukraine. The UN warns that at least 14 million people are suffering from severe hunger in just 4 Western countries and saying that could easily spiral to 20 million throughout the year.
Now, Pinpoint weather, Colorado's most accurate forecast.
Showers have wrapped up in Colorado tonight and temperatures are cool. I'm tracking 56 in Denver this evening, 54 in Greeley and Fort Collins, and they have dropped to 27 degrees up on Vail Pass. Our high today hit 67 out at the airport. That's 10 degrees lower than the average of 77. Tomorrow, we're going to keep it below average, about 10 degrees once again. Wind speed's still a little bit breezy in Denver, right out of the west at 20 miles per hour. We are going to see those quiet down in the overnight hours tonight, with those lows falling to about 39 in Denver and Parker, 33 up in Estes Park, 41 in Sterling tomorrow morning, with Leadville dropping to 20 degrees. In your hourly forecast tomorrow by noon, temperatures hitting 60, mid-60s expected in the afternoon. We're going to have the cloud cover building in during the afternoon with rain showers keeping us cool. 64 the high in Loveland and Greeley. We'll hit about 66 out towards Akron, and they stay there. 53 towards Breckenridge. Breckenridge, but it's going to be the morning hours. If you need to get outside and walk the dog or head out for a jog, that's going to be the time to enjoy the sunshine and dry weather. We will see the cloud cover build in midday. The showers starting in our northeastern mountains, and it really picks up by Tuesday night. Rain in the lower elevation, snow in the high country. Most of that snow east of the Continental Divide. You can see it picks up a little bit overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. It's going to be a very rainy night. Great sleeping weather, but you can turn off the sprinklers the next 2 days. This is a lot of moisture. Midday Wednesday, you can still see some of those rain showers hanging on before they clear off to the east by Wednesday afternoon. And then by Wednesday night, we will see clear skies. In some areas here on the Front Range, we'll see anywhere from a half an inch up to potentially even over an inch of rainfall. And then we are expecting about 3 to 9 inches of snow up on our high peaks above about 9,000 feet in our eastern mountains in Colorado. Our weekly planner looking ahead, temperatures cool to the 50s on Wednesday with that morning rain. We dry it out on Thursday with temperatures at 73, and then we'll be right back up into those 80s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with a 10% chance of rain each afternoon.
Looks pretty great, Jessica. Thank you. If you hosted a cookout, picnic, or barbecue today, you already know how expensive it was. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, bakery products are up over 10%. Meat is up more than 14%. Dairy 9%. Fruits and veggies about 8%.
Prices seem maybe a little high, but I think that's the way with everywhere. But right now, I've seemed to find about everything I'm looking for.
It comes as the latest consumer price index shows overall inflation is up 8.3%. If you're looking for a place to skimp, just cut out the fruits and veggies.
Or maybe,
no, I mean, it's a holiday. You got to have some fun, right? Memorial Day does mark the unofficial start of summer and pool season for most of the country.
But beating the heat might not be as simple as heading over to your favorite aquatic center this year. A national lifeguard shortage is sinking plenty of pool plans from right now. FOX31's Paul Gerke shows us how pools are trying to manage. All new tonight at 9:30.
From Columbus to Clearwater, from Charlotte to Chicago, it's swim season, and for the second straight summer, there aren't enough lifeguards. According to the American Lifeguard Association, a shortage could prevent about a third of the country's 300,000 plus public pools from opening.
Like everybody else, if we don't have enough lifeguards, we have to shut down pools because we're not going to open up a pool if we know it's not going to be safe.
Long Island is hundreds of people short. Philadelphia only had enough lifeguards to open a fraction of its outdoor pools. Just 3 of 12 public beaches in Minneapolis were guarded last year. It's a safety concern and a big-time bummer.
I know when I was a kid, I enjoyed getting out there to those, splash zone type places. So I'd be disappointing unable to go to those just because of a shortage on lifeguards.
The cause behind the shortage is multi-pronged. The pandemic is surely a factor. So is the job market.
Other companies now are coming in that are paying more money to these 16, 17, 18-year-olds. I mean, you got to compete with Amazon and Target and Chick-fil-A.
There also just isn't as much help as usual. The war in Ukraine has had an impact on the J-1 visa program. Not as many young people are coming over from Europe to work summer jobs.
I know a lot of kids, they come over for the experience of the U.S. and hopefully, in years to come, they'll be able to take advantage of that situation. But for this year, it's, they've got to take care of themselves. That's priority number one.
And that was Paul Gerke reporting. A mirror that can tell you your size, and several brands starting to appear in more clothing stores. The smart mirror is from the company My Size, and here's how it works. First, use sensors on your phone to map out your body contours. Doesn't that sound like fun, Jeremy?
Oh, yeah.
The app asking questions about your gender, age, and height. Then the app stores that information and gives you size recommendations for participating brands like Levi, Lacoste, and Nautica. The smart mirror is inside of more than 1,000 stores. The company claims that it also helps retailers save money by reducing the number of returns. In just minutes, the search for a missing man is expected to start once again after a capsized boat sent 13 people tumbling into cold water. Also new at 10, what the coroner has been able to tell us about the victim who died.
Also new at 10, in the wake of the Texas tragedy, we're learning about what happened just before those first shots were fired.
Panic breaks out at this packed venue when an audience member thinks that they heard gunshots. All new tonight at 10, we're hearing from witnesses and police. The CDC and the Public Health Agency of Canada are investigating a potentially multi-state hepatitis A outbreak. They say strawberry brands Fresh Campo and H-E-B are being probed for a connection to an outbreak. And the strawberries are past their shelf life, but if you purchase them between March 5th and April 25th of this year and froze them to eat later, you should definitely throw them out. These strawberries were sold at many retail chains, including Walmart, Costco, Trader Joe's, Kroger, and Safeway.
Some new video showing 3 thieves shoving products right off the shelves and into their bags. This happened at a Sephora makeup store in Southern California Saturday night. The woman who posted the video to TikTok captioned it with, "I was just trying to pick out a concealer and heard a bang." No one attempted to stop the thieves. They walked out of the store with whatever they chose to take.
If you're traveling this weekend, even locally, you probably notice those record high prices. The national average is around $4.62 a gallon, and Colorado's average is up today. According to AAA, the state is paying about $4.27 a gallon, with Denver's average sitting at $4.21. That's up over $1 from just a year ago. And it does make you wonder, what are we going to be saying a year from now?
I know, because a year ago, I think we were saying that's kind of expensive for gas.
Oh, I'm sure we were complaining.
So we'll see what next year brings. Hopefully something better.
Some relief.
The News at 10 starts right now.
Live from Denver, this is Fox 31 News at 10. We're on it.
New tonight at 10, the search for a missing man resuming right now on a Colorado reservoir after a boat overturns with more than a dozen people on board.
My husband just kept saying there were 8 babies.
Well, we're learning about the identity of one of the victims and the challenges rescue crews are facing. Also new at 10, in the wake of the Texas tragedy, we're learning about what happened just before the first shots were fired.
He had gotten a backpack, a little bag or something, and a rifle he was carrying up in the air. He was walking towards the school. Real slow.
And tonight we're hearing from witnesses who saw the shooter crash his truck and start firing at bystanders who tried to approach him. Also new at 10, recovery teams have found the remains of 21 of the 22 people on board a doomed flight, with rescuers forced to move metal wreckage with their bare hands. And first here at 10, a woman is dead, a man still missing after a boat with several people on board, including 8 children, capsized in Lake Pueblo last night.
A group of boaters witnessed some of the horrifying aftermath and daring rescues. Speaking with Fox 31's Talia Cunningham, she's joining us live with the very latest. Talia.
Well, Erica, Jeremy, good evening. Such a horrific story. We know that